So that election, huh? Connectors, what is up? DK here. Hope you're having a great day. You know, we're about a week after our presidential election, and yeah, we made a choice. And by we, I mean half. Oof. Now, look, I am not going to do commentary here about my personal take or what I think about the president-elect or where we are going on. There's a time for that, there's a place for that, and I'll actually put a link in the doobly-doo below and talk about a blog I just posted with some ideas on that. But I wanted to just talk to my fellow nonprofiteers. So gather around, you two, and you guys come closer. I just want to talk to the nonprofit sector right now about what this means with a new president-elect and potentially, definitely, new policies in place for our country. So again, to be crystal clear, we're not going to talk about the political. So I don't want to talk about the personality, the inflammatory, the difficult to hear. Okay, look, I'm not a big fan of President-elect. I don't think I'm going to be able to hide this in this. But I don't want to talk about the political right now. I want to talk about policy, public policy, and how that affects us in the nonprofit sector. Ready? So, as a nonprofiteer, we have lots to think about when we have a new president coming on, because there's so many different policy changes and different ways of looking at how we translate our politics to our day-to-day work, especially for us, for those people in the human services sector, or the environment, or arts and culture, education. Everything is going to be infected by this... Influence. Everything is going to be influenced by this new president. So we have to be prepared. So I'm going to give you four things that we have to think about as leaders in our nonprofit sector, and therefore, 4 things that we have to do as a community. Here we go. First one, we have to be vigilant. What is that? Pay attention to the news. You got to keep up with the news of the day, the news of the week, the news of the month. You have to no longer rely on what you see on social media, what you hear from your friends. You have to do the research. And as a nonprofiteer, it's in our best interest to keep up with the news of the day, because every little bit of shift when it comes to policy, a shift from the Democrat to the Republican ideology, a shift from more progressive thinking to more conservative thinking. Whatever this is, the shift is going to happen. And so we have to pay attention to this. So please, do not rely on other people to give you this information. Find out for yourself. Source things. You know, if you've seen the news recently, there has been a big uptick in this idea of fake news being pushed. And it's mostly because social media is such a thing, where people can push information, good or bad, funny, not funny, citing, not citing. You're going to have to find your way through all the muck. But you got to be vigilant. You got to make sure you stay informed as much as you can. An informed electorate is what we need. So as a nonprofiteer, keep in mind everything that happens on the federal level, everything that happens on the state level. You have state organizations. We have wonderful state organizations that represent the nonprofit sector. I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo below from the National Council of Nonprofits. All the way down, each and every state has a state agency. Be informed. Get with each of those constituencies. Make sure you know what's happening, and we'll be fine. 2, we have to be active. There's a lot of talk. There's always talk. Always, that nonprofits should not be involved in politics. They should not be part of these discussions, that there's a worry that if you are lobbying, that you're going to lose your nonprofit status and you're going to go into bad standing and blah, 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 blah. We're not talking about lobbyists here. We're not talking about lobbying. What we're talking about is being vigilant and using the information that you have, and now move it into action, to be active, to go to city council meetings, go to your county commissioners meetings, go to the state, go lobby for the day. Make sure that you have in public comments, you take time to talk about the issues that matter to you, how your organization is helping to solve an issue. Step up and ask your city council members, your mayors, your county commissioners step up and say, as a nonprofit, it's not enough that we sit back and let our programs do the talking alone. We want to come forward and be a part of the solution, be at the table. Don't ask, demand it. We have the strength to do things like this. We have the power of knowledge that we're in the dirt working a lot of these programs. We're making things happen in our communities. And it's up to us to stand up for us and say, we should be a part of this because we are making solutions happen. We are the real deal, moving things from politics to policy. At the end of the day, what moves the needle, what makes policy happen, are organizations in the nonprofit field that are moving it to the person. We are in the people business, whether you do healthcare, environment, education, arts and culture, any of the things that represent nonprofits. We are in the community development, community impact business, and that power that we hold, the work that we do, should be heard by our constituencies and should be heard by our leaders. 3, connected. We need to be connected as a nonprofit sector, therefore as a community. The strength of our community is going to be in our connectivity. If we can connect the small businesses, the nonprofits, the educational institutions, and our local governments, the more connected we have, the more connections we build, we are going to be stronger as a community and better informed and better prepared to do the action we need to do. So if you're a nonprofit, and I know it's difficult in the day-to-day work, you're head down, writing grants, calling your donors, working with the board, dealing with staff, you have to get out and be connected to other nonprofits. Every little piece of this counts. The more investment we do in the B2B, the business-to-business part of it, the stronger our community will be and the better action we can take when we need something to happen. Look, it's no secret here. Because the presidency is changing, it almost doesn't even matter that it's a Democrat president and going to a Republican president. It almost doesn't matter. It is just a new person, which means new policies, new vision, new messaging. It's just going to happen. We have to be prepared. There is a rapid response needed. There is a crisis communications needed that each of us has to take some responsibility in. But we cannot manage this alone. And you, as a nonprofit, as a nonprofiteer, you're not going to be able to do this on your own. Here's an example for you. A direct connect can be made for if the tax policies change from the federal level, changes on the state level, changes to a .com in your community. They may have to add jobs, retract jobs, move, reassess their philanthropy, and that's dollars to you. That's volunteers to you. That's support for you. That's going to happen in some way, whether positive or negative. Things are going to be adjusted. If we can get connected stronger, know these things are coming when they're coming, and then figure out how to deploy against those new realities that are coming, we will be stronger and more prepared, and our communities will thrive because of the work we do connected. 4th, we gotta love. I know, it sounds so sappy. You are so sappy. I know. Look, this election took a lot out of us collectively. And we have sadness and anger and frustration. But some of us also are completely over the moon excited. They're optimistic. Their guy won. But I think it's safe to say that all of us, we need to find something within ourselves that positively can make us more united. President Obama once said that we're not a collection of red states and blue states, we are the United States. And from that time to now, it feels like there's been a widening of the gap and not the closing of the gap. And I know he and his administration tried really hard to find a way for us all to be closer and a greater sense of things. And it hasn't happened. And it happened for many reasons. But here we are at a moment after a very contentious election where we are finding our way again. And there's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of pushback. And then on the other side, there is a lot of there's a lot of people on the other side saying, hang on, you give us, first of all, we won the election, give us a chance to govern before you rush to judgment. Wherever you fall on this, it is undeniable that we have a gap. And call it the hippie in me. Thanks, Mom. But I think a little love would do us good. I'm talking to the right people, though, because nonprofiteers, we are good at this. Loving the neighbor, making sure we take care of one another, make sure we take care of the person to our left and to our right. We need to make sure that our community feels good, feels safe, feels complete. Here's what I would suggest to you. Don't live in the echo chamber. If you're just hanging out with like-minded people, you need to get a counterbalance. You need to get someone who can talk to you on the other side to hear it out. I'm not saying they have to change your mind, but you need to hear it out. It's difficult for me to talk about this in terms of race, because it is what it is. It's a very difficult subject, but it's important, and you should speak to others. You should speak to others. I don't know how else to say this. Damn, I feel so bad if you're someone with friends that doesn't have a wide, diverse cut of community. It's strange for me to even say this and to suggest this, because I love the circle of friends that I have from my high school friends in college and professional people who I lived in Washington, D.C. and where I live now in York County, Pennsylvania, and all around the country, and all the different organizations and nonprofits and people I meet at conferences and at speaking gigs and on Google Hangouts. And here, just talking to you, my friend right here. I feel like I'm enriched because my friendships are very diverse. And we need that in all aspects of our life. Diversity is not just a cliche, and it's not just something we strive for as a public policy matter. It's good for the heart. It's good for the soul. You have to find that, though, because I can't force you into diversity. You have to find it in your soul and in your heart to realize that diversity makes you stronger, makes that other person stronger, and therefore makes us stronger. So, let's, number 4, let's love a little more. Whew! Got deep. So, connectors, I'm going to end it right there. I thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Please, if you get a second, make sure you like us on Facebook. You can like and share some of the stuff we post up there. We try to post as much as we can, and we'll take questions from you there as well. But you can also follow us at WeConnectDots on Twitter. Great place to get information to me as well. If you want to email me information, questions, concerns, ideas for topics, please feel free to send me an email, and I will make sure I reply to you. I swear to you, pinky swear, even injured pinky swear. So, connectors, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. My name is DK. I'm with Connected Dots Movement, and I will see you soon. Keep on connecting, everybody.